Yeah, so let's go ahead, even though still people are attending all the time. So hi everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. I'm Malin Bodolla. I am responsible for marketing at Litium. And so this webinar that we're doing today is in a series that we're doing to inspire and give tips and tricks for companies that want to work with digital e-commerce. And with me today, I have Dan Andersson and Casper Hansen from our premium solution partner, Columbus. And today we're going to start about how to create a good customer experience with a B2B Commerce and Customer Portal solution. And some practicalities first. So I'll just do a short introduction and then I'll hand over to Dan and Casper, who will do a 25 minutes approximately presentation. And then we will have time for some questions at the end. So if you have questions, please type them in under the chat function in the webinar panel to your right. There is something saying chat. So write your question there and we will take them at the end. So, and also another question that usually come is if we will share the presentation afterwards. So you will get an email tomorrow where you will get the recorded version and everything from this presentation. So that will be taken care of. So first, very short, a short presentation about who is Litium. So Dan, if you change the slide, thank you. So Litium is a product company. We provide a platform for digital e-commerce for mid-size and large companies. And we have a long experience from digital commerce. And today we have approximately 230 customers that sell online and have businesses all over the world. Next slide, please. So our platform, and we work with customers both within the B2C segment and the B2B segment. And here on the slide, you just see some examples of companies and brands that we work with today. So that is very short about Litium. And today is not about us, it's about you and how to give you good tips and tricks about digital commerce. So with that, I will hand over to Dan and Casper.
Thank you, Malin. My name is Casper Hansen, and I'm from Columbus, and based out of our headquarters in Denmark. First of all, I want to thank you to our good partner Litium for the invite for today's webinar, where we will spend the next 25 minutes looking into how you can create a good experience with customer experience with a B2B commerce and customer portal. I just checked the sign-up list for today's webinar, and we have over 200 sign-ups today from over 12 different countries actually. So a warm welcome to all of you. I'm here today with my good colleague Dan Andersson from Sweden. Dan, how is life in Sweden, and could you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Dan. I'm head of strategy and also our head of solution development within Columbus in the commerce area. And I'm based in Stockholm, and everything is fine here, Casper.
Perfect, thank you. Let's get started. I will switch off the camera to have better broadband. So yeah, great. Dan, at the moment we see a huge change going on the B2B market. What are the major challenges and the trends at the moment as you see it?
True, Casper. There is a lot of challenges for the B2B companies today. We have seen over the last couple of years a transition from in channels. So channels are changing from physical to digital. We are seeing that devices are changing from a computer to mobile. We are seeing that the geographical markets is changing from nearby to global markets. We are seeing the competitor and partner landscape are changing from well-known competitors to marketplaces such as Amazon and Alibaba. And also we're seeing that offers is changing, products to service and etc. 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 We're also seeing that business models are changing, and we're forced to challenge our own business models, from partner models to maybe owning the communication directly with the customer. and old sales models may be outdated. And all this requires a speed, flexibility and innovation in the companies. But then we have the customers. They change, and they are a challenge today because their buying behavior, their needs, their requirements are changing. There was a time when buyers contacted the companies early and asked for information. That time no longer exists. Companies is also meeting new decision makers and buyers who come from like a generation that are born with mobile in their hand and have always been connected. The customers also expect to receive the same information in all channels they use to purchase when they are making their purchase decisions, and preferably packaged according to their needs. So the expectations of B2B buyers are to experience the buying process that is seamless, transparent, and simple, just like the ordinary B2C experience. So companies' job today is no longer actually to like convince the customers to buy, but rather help them to buy. Then we have 2020, and we meet the unexpected. And 2020 is like it's a huge turning point for all B2B companies, and probably for you and for me as well. And the COVID-19 has led many B2B buyers, customers to buy things online that they wouldn't have done in the past. It could be like more complicated products, more expensive products, and social distancing have really shifted the balance of human and digital engagement in the buying process from roughly equal to majority in digital today. We also see change towards offering a lot more self-service option and a focus on existing customers. So B2B companies are even under more pressure to ramp up their transformation efforts and do that rapidly in order to deliver those maybe complex and pricey products and really take care of their existing customers. And some companies start from a low level in their digital journey, and some starts far better equipped to face a new reality for sales and marketing. Casper, I don't know if that was too much, or was that answering your question?
It's fine, but maybe you could be a bit more specific. Do you have some examples on how manufacturers are acting in the different areas?
First of all the mentioned challenges also drives changes in B2B sales and marketing strategies. We have like an old model, like we're moving from like a sales-led to a marketing-led strategies. Mobile becomes central. We're going to becoming more data-driven, pull-oriented, and information has to be personalized. There is a need of automation, consolidation of data, real-time data, and skills are changing. The skills needed in the practical way is more technical and analytical, and the culture is more flexible and agile, and companies are moving to becoming more customer-centric. And a change in sales and marketing strategies today also automatically drives a customer to increase in the customer's digital maturity model. And this is a maturity model as I see it, and that is in 5 steps. In order to like offer the customer better service and information, the first step is usually purely a reactive information site, or sometimes called a product web. The second step should then be when we like start to take orders and maybe integrate with an ERP system. That could be like proactive as we are like taking orders. But a third step would be when we actually even more actively start to actually sell, focus on lead generation, when we have a focus on the full buying process, and also working with more touch points and create like a seamless experience through those touch points. A fourth step is when we're focused on the customer and actually start to personalize our information differently to each user in the customer portal. And fifth step is when we actually start to work with IoT and AI to create intelligent services and become more predictive in our services and sales. And just for giving a little bit of example here, because the focus on customer experience has really changed. And here are 3 examples of 3 sites from 3 companies that all are great, and they have done a lot of efforts over the last years. But there are small differences in change, in maturity, experience, and especially when we're looking on the backside of those solutions. Especially when we are looking at it from a perspective to get new sales. And that is what I refer to as like connected commerce. Because when you are here, you have to focus on growth, conversion, and lead generation. You're working actively with the prospect customer through the full digital buying process, through like attracting customers, engaging them, moving them closer to like a purchase, and also taking care of them after the purchase. And this also leads to a need of more of a B2C feeling in the whole approach. Remember what I said before, B2B buyers expect seamless, transparent, and simple, just as their ordinary B2B experience. And you really want it to be easy, transparent in all channels. Therefore, you are open with prices, you use information to guide, you actively help to strive for helping the visitor in all areas of your site. And you attract new visitors, maybe with a blog, make them to register, to collect data, and you're using what we are calling progressive profiling, helping you to move the visitors from maybe being like an anonymous visitor, an unknown visitor, to actually qualify them to being a marketing qualified lead, to a sales qualified lead, and maybe to like an accepted lead from a sales force. And you're actually like combining the offline and online sales channels. And you also use, like as I said before, information as guides and etc. to continuously engage the customer to move them further into the purchase. Maybe a chat. And maybe you use like a pop-up to actually trying to close a deal. And you have a tight integration between like the commerce and in this case CRM. So actions happening on the website is directed automatically through different kind of workflows to maybe to the sales and service. So if you have somebody on the website that has abandoned your cart on your e-commerce, that is maybe going directly to a salesperson or going down to a pipeline where you have all your potential deals. So this is something what we are seeing happening and what manufacturers are doing today, Casper.
Yeah, and then you're mentioning customer portals. Could you maybe elaborate a bit on that? What and why?
We are seeing a huge move towards a focus on, especially today, to after sales and towards existing customers. It's not so much new sales today, it's after sales that are in focus. And that is also something that Litium saw in their B2B Commerce report that was published earlier this year, where the focus is the most important results from to do that, like a digital commerce investment, was like a reduced costs, sales to existing customers, and increased service, etc., etc. So please download this report to get more information about the status of the B2B market. And the customer portal is about exactly that. The customer portal should be like mapping the buying process, digitizing sales process, support companies in the after sales activities and the provision of digital services. So the goal of a customer portal should be to simplify everyday work for the customers and improve efficiency of the side of the seller. And that is also what we are seeing when we are out in projects, we're doing pre-studies and we're setting goals together with customers. It's almost the same objectives that companies are aiming for as in the report from Litium. It's about increasing service and strengthen the customer experience, increase customer engagement, and creating this addiction effect customers do not want to be without. You want them to come back to you again and again and again, and don't listen to like a distributor or a marketplace. And this will truly drive customer loyalty and increase customer lifetime value. And this new normal could also be like a natural way to interact and an opportunity actually to increase contact with customers in all touch points. And certainly it becomes a relief for service and sales organization. So they actually can be more focused on, be more those like consultancy salespersons that are maybe more required from customers today. So in a customer portal, we would like to increase self-service for those involved in the buying process. And today, the average is 7 people, I think, I have seen the figure on, that is involved in the buying process. And that is increasing regarding to both Forrester and Gartner. So let's say that I'm selling, and in the buying process, there is like a professional buyer, there can be a plant manager, there could be like a machine operator. I would like to like address them all individually. And the customer portal should also meet customer need as have an intuitive order experience. Be a solution where it becomes so easy for me to create my order, reorder, get it approved. It should support and relevancy. It should be a quick and easy access to installation manuals, tutorials, contact persons. And since no salesperson is guiding, it need to guide and support the buying process and ensure that the information is extensive and relevant to the customer. So if I'm that machine operator and I have maybe a dashboard, the information should be extensive and relevant for me and the product, the machines I have bought and are using. And it should also be include like make the interaction between the organizations more easy. I should get notifications to my dashboard telling me when I should book service, when my contracts are expiring, when I need to order more spare parts. And certainly connected to that, there has to be time savers. It should be easy to look in the service calendar, find a time, book that service, and be able to do it when it's convenient for me, meaning 24/7. The portal should provide the customer with insights. So as an operator, let me see insights connected to my machines that make me make the correct decisions. The portal should adapt for complexities. So it should include contracts, quotes, purchase orders, approvals, permission levels, and other steps in your portal. This may not be easy, but it should be your mental vision. And your vision is nothing that you build in once. You build that in phases. But when you have your vision and when you have started your preparation work, we see mainly 2 approaches to go towards a portal. And one of them is like expanding your existing commerce solution. You have your login, and behind the login you have my pages, you have order history. Expand that with more services, more information, and make it easier for the user to find what they are looking for. But we're also seeing maybe a little bit more ambitious, maybe larger companies that have more requirements, because maybe they have much more solutions and more information that they want to expose to their customers. And in that case, the commerce becomes one part of a puzzle. And you are more actually building a framework, a presentation layer above the different kind of a solution. And then you expose your data into that portal. And see the customer portal as a customer gateway to all your service and data, customer information, transaction data, behavioral data. To create real customer value, you should expose the data and services to the customers and make them in charge when to use it. keep your focus on capturing a 360 view of your customers. And with that data, you can really personalize the buying experience of your customers. And when you do that, that will make you stand out from your competitors and create that addiction effect. So that was a little bit why and what, Casper.
It makes sense, but how should you think when you're planning your marketing stack? Choosing platforms for the future, you could say, when you maybe are a mid-sized company, because as I see it, the landscape is quite big in terms of platforms out there.
True, Casper. You maybe have seen the Chief Martech. That is a website, and they are doing like an annual compilation of all providers that offer software in e-commerce and digital marketing. In 2017, there was 5,000 companies. Today, there are about 8,000 companies competing for the customer's attention. And it's truly a fair question. And everything depends, and that's certainly. But it could, if the situation is that you are sitting on your first generation or maybe second generation of e-commerce solution, then maybe you have an integration, or maybe not, with ERP or with a CRM system. But you also may have a sales department that are working with a CRM, or maybe not working with a CRM because it's too hard to use. You also have a marketing department that works with content and customer communication, and maybe they are using several different solutions in their communication with their customers. And you have a service department as well. The effect is that, if that is the situation, the effect is that the customer data and product information may be spread over a dozens of systems, and each upgrade become like a nightmare, and then you are not able to personalize and create this experience for the customer. So the challenge today is to have a platform that cover all needs in the buying process, not just a solution for the order phase. And they have to be connected. And this requires some tools also from the marketing side that actually like helping you to attract visitors coming to your site, engage them, help you to actually close that order or that purchase, and certainly taking care of the customer after the purchase. And you need to cover a few different areas with your platform. And those are in generally e-commerce, PIM, CMS, analytics, marketing, sales, service. And when I'm talking about marketing, sales, and service, that is like CRM, marketing automation, etc., etc., etc. And many customers have several tools to handle each of those areas, which means that the number of platforms that is they need to support the buying process can be 7 to 10 different systems as a minimum. So, but when you actually choose your platform, I think you should think about three things. It's about simplicity, simplicity, and simplicity. No, not really, but simplicity. It should be like easy to use, because it's not that you're putting up your e-commerce solution once and then you're ready, because you have to work with your solution on a daily basis. You have to attract new visitors to the site. You have to make them convert, and etc. And this is an ongoing work you have to do on a daily basis. So the solution you're choosing has to be easy to use. It has to be easy to integrate, because you have to pull data back and forth between different kinds of solutions. And if you also want like an efficiency, you should be able to automate parts of the daily processes as well. And it's also important that you're able to consolidate the customer data and make that available through the platform as well. And the last thing here is true and not true. That is a little bit dependent on the size of the company. But I would say usually go for fewer platforms. The trend is fewer, not worse. But certainly it has to support you in your change. It should be like flexible, enable you to grow and innovate.
But then let's say we are early in our vision, but we are still ambitious. We want to have the ability to grow, but start small with a focus on ROI. Could you exemplify regarding to minimize the amount of platforms then?
If I would like to cover the entire buying process with just a few solutions, this is a very good combo that we're seeing that a lot of our users, customers have. That is like having Litium for covering the commerce, the PIM, and the CMS. And then you have a tool like HubSpot for the sales, marketing, and services. They are good at that. And then you have Google for all the analytics. That is more or less standard today. And then you also should have like an integration between those solutions. Because when you're doing that, then you have the solution we talked about before. You have a connected solution that you can automate. And the good thing with this kind of solution is also that you can start small and then grow. Because if you're outgrowing your PIM, you can add an external PIM if you want. And if you need more touch points, then you can add like a presentation layer above here. So you can reach more touch points. And usually sometimes you call that like you're moving into like creating a solution for headless commerce. If you need a better overview of your analytics, create a dashboard with analytics from all those 3 platforms and have a better view of the data. So there is a potential to grow as well. So this is a good combo, Casper.
Yeah, I agree. But how could a common product web or e-commerce project be outlined? Could you give us some examples?
I will take 2 directions here. Either you go with a commerce focus. You're installing your commerce, and that is the focus, and make it possible to order and do it easy. That may be your goal in some way. And step 1 here, if we are starting from a digital maturity view here. So step 1 could be that share your product catalog. Step 2 could be make it possible to order. Step 3, increase sales in multiple evolve phases. So start small and then grow. And exactly what kind of steps that actually are in release 1 depends on the customer requirements. But start small and grow, and then where you start, that is a little bit regarding to how fast you have to act in the situation of today. Or you go with a more sales and marketing focus where growth is in focus. And you are not like waiting for implementing your sales and marketing and your analytics to a later stage. You start with them directly. So then step 1 should be like, okay, set up and show your product catalog, but also have a focus on to increase the traffic to your website. Step 2, make it possible to order, but also have this focus on moving the customer from engaged to the real purchase. And then step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, increase conversion, increase sales, increase customer experience in multiple evolve phases. Same here, but start small and grow. So this was for like e-commerce and connected commerce. And if you're going for like a customer portal instead, Casper, then it's a similar approach, but you have even a more focus on all the kind of functionality behind login. Any more questions, Casper?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. So that's actually the end. But maybe just a short recap from me. We have looked into to the different changes you have to plan for as a B2B company, and you can see we have addressed how you go from e-commerce to connected commerce, and last but not least, we have showed you examples on how you get started. And in respect of time, Marlin, do you have any questions from the audience?
Yes, I have some questions here. So one of the questions is that someone's saying that they are a smaller company. So the question is like, is this only, I mean, how big do you need to be able to build a customer portal, you think?
The short answer is that it is for every company, for all companies, you could say, but it really depends on the ambition level, I would say. My recommendation is always to aim high, of course, but start low, as Dan also says. And maybe the most important part, the organization needs to be ready for the transformation and ready to be involved and also invest in the process. You need to have a good start.
And that is actually leading into another question. Someone saying that I understand this. It's someone working in the marketing department, but I need help to convince the rest of the organization. Have you any tips and tricks on an appropriate way of how do you build that within their own organization? Do you understand the question?
Yeah, I do. I would say, first of all, you need to involve the management team in the process from the very beginning. They are most likely, I guess, interested in knowing more about the business case and also the ROI. So do the preparations and the homework upfront. Ideas could be to have internal inspirational seminars with experts or maybe companies who have succeeded with implementing a portal or commerce solution. Or last but not least, book a boot camp with a company like us from Columbus.
Yeah. Okay. And then another short question is about the Litium B2B report, when the next one is launched, and I think I will answer that. So the report for 2021 will be launched in April, and we are right now working on that. And just a comment is that it is the largest B2B research in the Nordics, and we are covering Sweden, Norway, and Denmark, 3 different markets. But more information on our webpage, and it will be launched in April. Another question is someone saying that really interesting and thank you for this, but where do I start? And I think that is a question that we get a lot. It's not about that you understand that you want to do it, but it's really like, where do I start? How do I start? It's a big question.
Yeah, it is. And once again, I also think that Dan addressed it, is you need to start small and grow. It's really important that you set your vision and your strategy and that you prepare, but still step by step. So once again, do the homework.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Another question. CMS, cart, and a lot of other functions are built as a standard solution, but someone saying that their experience is that customer portals are usually very customized. How mature is the foundation of customer portals today?
Dan, maybe you could outline this.
I think that he or she gets it totally correct, because portals today is very much something that you are building a little bit more customized for your organization. There is not so mature, so they are like fully standard into the normal like e-commerce solution. So it's a lot about customization, because every company is also a little bit different. It's different kind of how you handle data behind and etc. So it's a little bit more customization. Yes, it is.
Okay. Thanks a lot. I think there might be some questions coming in more here, but time's actually out. So we will finalize for today. Thank you everybody who joined, and thank you very much Dan and Casper for a really inspiring presentation. We will send out an email tomorrow to everybody, and don't hesitate to contact either Columbus or Litium if you have any questions, whatever, and let's help and work together to get this started.
And
thanks a lot, everybody.
And thank you from Dan as well.
Yep.
And from Denmark, Casper here. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.